So E-wrap the number, which is 91 stitches, and then do 16 rows.
So I just like to have that there so I can hang on to it. And you've got your tension and you can latch it up, yeah? Just makes it a lot easier than trying to get it in there. Because it's really hard to try and get it just in that centre. Almost impossible, yeah? Okay, so I've got my 16 rows, and then it says in the pattern that you
put 7 in hold.
Or 9 in hold.
9 in hold, yes.
2, 4,
up the machine, up the carriage end.
Yeah, 9 in
Yep,
hold.
on the right hold, yep. And then have 17 in working position, and 21. Then the rest.
You're reading the first one.
Oh, 20.
21.
Oh, that's a 21, yes.
Okay.
And then the rest in hold.
The rest in hold. So 2, 4, 6, 8. What am I doing now? Well, 2, 4,
So you're not putting the 7 in hold?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so I'll scrub that out.
What I'm doing is doing 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, and then 21, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21. So there's your first lot of stitches.
And what did you do to those?
I'm just
manipulate them?
leaving them in work, and the rest I'm putting in hold.
But you didn't do anything to these stitches.
Yeah. Yeah. So these are all in hold, and these are the ones I'm going to work. So I'm putting my machine in hold.
Okay, so these you just put back there.
So I'm going to knit these, okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to knit those now. And then I'm going to put these in hold. I don't want to knit them.
Okay.
So now I'm starting to do the point. But, you know, why put... I don't understand how you can put them in hold and then start your knitting from here.
No, that's why I said why you're doing that on the carriage side.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's why you did just all those.
Yeah.
And then...
So I knitted the whole lot, and now I'm putting them in hold. So I don't want them to knit.
Okay.
I'm going to get rid of this.
So is that 7 or 9?
Well, I used the largest size.
Yeah, so we're doing that.
Okay, so I'm going to put, where have I left my weights? Here we go. Because you're doing short rowing,
Okay, yeah.
get your weights on. And I also wrap it here because I don't want holes.
Yes.
Where's that hat? Here we go. So what we're doing now, see we've got these in hold. These 21 stitches we're going to knit, and we're going to knit this bit. Yeah? And it's what's called short rowing. And I do wrap, you don't want holes down the edges here, okay? As I said, I modify these patterns as I go because I can see there's improvements to make. So I've wrapped that, so it's going to knit. So I'm going to do come back, and now I'm going to start short rowing. So, and it's going to wrap itself automatically.
That one on the carriage side.
On the carriage side.
But that one you have to wrap. Oh no, now it wraps?
They automatically wrap.
It's just that first one that you have to...
Yeah, so now I'm like the slipper last night, you know? Just watch your stitch on the edge. Sometimes you need to just drag it back a bit. And we're going down to 3 stitches.
Down to 3, okay. Doesn't say that here.
Could do. I think it does.
Oh, it says 2. Oh, until 3 stitches are left. Yep.
Once again, I tend to use my fingers a lot for tensioning.
Yeah.
That's why God gave us thumbs.
Yes.
Yeah. So down to 3.
That's good because I don't use mine for gardening.
So we're down to 3, and then I'll wrap. I think she says do an extra couple of rows on the 3. So I just do the wrap.
Knit 2 rows, and you're wrapping in those extra 2 rows.
I shouldn't have done that one.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Now you're going to go out again, and I do what Nick does with the socks, a trick she told me, stay on the carriage side, doubly wrap it. So you just coming out, you're bringing your needle into work now. Wrap each one. It's a bit of trouble, but it gives you a better finish.
Yeah. And you're doing that to bring it out to how many needles?
So out to the 21.
Out to your 9 here. So you've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9.
Okay. Yeah.
And they're very quick to make once again.
And you,
See, now you can grab it from behind and give it a yank down.
and you haven't got your sponge bar upside down.
Oh, I don't know how I did that slipper last night.
I know.
And it explains why.
Yeah.
Oh, I've dropped a stitch, bugger it. Explains why you were having so much trouble.
Yes, because that yarn I had used at home, but I don't think I've really used it. I took it off the machine and... so yeah, now it's...
Look, I've dropped a stitch there, and I normally I would 2, 4, 6, 4, 6, 3, 6, 9. So we want 9 on that end. So what we're going to do is leave that 9 in hold. We don't want to knit them, but we want to knit all these ones in the middle here. Yeah. So instead of breaking your yarn, what we're going to do is knit right across to here.
So these are staying in hold, and these ones are being knitted?
They're going to be knitted.
Yep.
All these are going to be knitted. So here we go, do the last wrap there. And now we're going to knit right across. Okay, so now we need our other point here. So we need all of these into hold. Now we don't want to knit these anymore, so you count your 21. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21.
Is that including the 9 or no? That's the 21 after.
Don't knit them.
Okay, yep.
Place. 6, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So we're bringing all of these into hold now because we don't want to knit any of these. And Susan Googly Army had a term for okay, so now we're ready to knit. Wrap your first one. And we're going to do the same thing. Oops. The same thing. Do a wrap on here. Bring it in. So we're going to
go down.
Automatically wraps. Yeah. Down to 3 stitches. Down to your
so
3
this one
stitches.
automatically wraps.
That does. Just watch that first stitch. Sometimes it pulls in a bit. You don't want it to jump off the end of the needle.
And then does my machine automatically wrap?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Yep.
Yep. It's one thing all the machines have in common.
Okay.
So we're down to the 3. We'll wrap the last one.
It must be a big motorbike ride. There was a heap of bikes came into the servo when I was there.
Oh.
So you just did 2 more rows.
2 more on the 3. Now we're going to short row out again. So you double wrap.
Until you get back to the 9.
So you're putting a needle on the carriage side into working position each row. Or you can go down again, and that reduces the yellow. Go down to
Increasing the 21 stitches.
Yep. So long as you understand it.
Yep.
I can't see the reason why you would cut your yarn and start
No.
again.
It's like that one row is not going to show.
Yeah. Oh, well, I count that anyway.
Do you have that one?
You use that in your count. One again.
Yep.
And we want to get down here, so we just pull these ones into knit. So we've done right across the row now, yeah?
Yes.
And I'm going to put... Now, that's part of your 16. So we did 16 rows this side, and we've got to do 16 rows the other side. So we've done 16 rows here, then we've done the point, and now we've got to do the other side of the hem and 16 rows on that side. See, we've got a hem. Okay, so now we've done one row and getting across here, so another 15. And I didn't put it in. I didn't put it in yet. Not concentrating. Done the first of the 16 rows, put it into knit. Don't force it. If something's not right, it's not right. Yeah, a really good go on it like that to put it on, and you split the stitch. My suggestion is you go to the stitch underneath, put that stitch on. It's far easier than fluffing around trying to get the tool through that loop if it's not very visible, and then just
Knit it through.
knit it off. Put the loop, the stitch behind the loop, and hand knit it off.
Are they going to think it goes through? Are they just simply
And knit it off. There we go. That one is okay. This one's not. It's too hard fluffing around trying to get your tool through that stitch, and you usually end up splitting it anyway. No stitches here. But if you can get it through, do it. If you've made a major disaster, just grab any part of the stitch you can and get it on the hook, whether it's just even one thread, and then you can undo it.
Yeah.
And re-knit it, yeah? That's my trick in terms of, and then if you have to knit a few off by hand, which I'm going to do here. There we go. There we go. So we're back to square one again. So here we go with row number 2 again. So that's 2. And I've dropped a stitch here as well.
Are you now just going to bring through one at a time?
Yes. So the stitch behind the latch, pick up your loop, knit it off. Come forward again.
Okay.
Instead of trying it, latching it up from
That's if it
behind.
ladders down more than one.
Yeah.
You bring them all on. So you went into the hook, went behind the needles, and
Stitch.
latched that on.
Go down again.
Yeah.
Show you again. Here we go. So we've got, come down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches. So put your stitch on the hook itself.
Yep.
Move your stitch behind the latch. Pick up your first loop and hand knit it off.
Yeah, that's how they do it with the circular knitting machine, but they use a crochet hook, which machine knitters have their latchet tools, and it's so much easier.
But in a way, it's not going to matter very much, you know, because I'm going to show you a trick. Yep. Because if you want to do this one,
All right.
So now we've got 2 rows. Yep. You might want to pause.
Okay, so she's doing the 16 rows after the other flap.
yeah. Just hand me
Yeah,
that.
if The last stitches don't knit through, just manually knit them through.
So they're not, because you will actually see that type of row.
Yeah.
If you don't loosen it off.
Tender. Okay. No, it's a 4-ply. See, it's thicker. Yeah. Than that.
Yeah. But yeah, the plies are not always correct.
Plies are not always correct. The only way you can be correct with ply is to do wraps.
And I do have a tool that does that.
Well, you just need a ruler. Okay, so I've done my 16 rows. That's my 16 rows. And now I'm going to rehang the hem. So you've got your pillars?
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah. And now you're going to rehang your hem. And basically you're just picking up your loops from your E-wrap and putting them on. You can do this with a 2 tool or 3 tool.
Okay. Yes. So, Sue, could you use my data bar? No.
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 This has to be a manual. You can't do anything else.
No. And you asked about the... It's a matter of preference whether you send a pull or outside pull. I find that when you wind without a cone in it and you pull from the centre, the ball collapses in the end.
Yes.
When it's perfectly wound like, well, better than this one, it's not going to catch underneath. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay. That makes sense.
While you're talking winding,
and while I'm talking latching,
So you're doing that all across.
you cut it off, but you cut the wide end off.
Yeah.
And then and then you keep cutting off, and you try it on here. If it's still too loose, cut a bit more until you get a firm fit. Get a little standing knife and cut a little V in it. Yep. Once you've got that firm, and then when you start to wind, you hook that through the V.
Oh.
Yep. I put a knot behind it. Hook it through the V.
For now.
Start
And if it doesn't knit, then we know we need to do further adjustments. Okay? So let's start with the easiest thing.
this goes in there straight away, rather than digging away trying to, you know, if you keep
flat.
it flat against your knitting, it almost just goes in there by, well, it does. Goes in there by itself.
Oh, yeah.
So the E-wrap's the easiest one to do. Have one stitch less.
See, so I've got a stitch here,
So-
but no loop.
Yep.
And in fact, the knot is probably the last stitch, and some people don't bother about it, but I'm a bit anal and I like to hang that last one. So here we've got our hat done, and then I think it says you do 44 rows or something like that. I'm not sure what the pattern says.
Yep. Okay.
So let's just get
44 rows. So on the ends, there's the loop and the knot. So when sewing up, use the knot on the left side to the knot on the right side. Sew up.
And I'm bringing forward every other needle.
Sorry, what's that?
I'm bringing forward every other needle.
Okay, so
This is where
and then did that.
So you can't do this.
Okay, this is just on the imposole. You push the punch numbers, ratchet it, and now use the lace carriage.
and see it's transferred.
And it
every
transferred
stitch.
all the stitches. Yes!
On the border.
That's not fair.
Moved every other needle across one.
That's why I love brothers.
Yeah.
You can do it on your brother.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's why I love brothers.
So you can
What, the ones that it brought forward? Or the other?
The ones that have got no stitches in it.
Oh, okay. So put the ones back that don't have stitches on.
Yep. Yes. And then I'll get rid of this for starters. And then I'm going to dial this tension right back to about a 3.
And what was it on originally?
7.
7.2.
Okay.
So I'm dialing it right back to 3, so I'm making it really tiny stitches, no do. 1, make sure they all knit off. 2. 4. There you go. Now, for your little top knot, let go.
And so 4 stitches, where does it say the 4 stitches?
No, it doesn't.
Or the 4 rows?
Doesn't.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
it doesn't. Doesn't, probably.
Okay.
To make your little top knot, okay,
Yeah.
what you need is some yarn, about that much. And you're going to get your needle. And I always go into the circle then. I don't know what you do, but I then take them off one by one. Take them off in the same direction all the time, otherwise you'll get stuffed up.
So you're just sewing them off.
I'm just going to gather them.
Gotcha. Yes, yep. But you could use a double-eyed needle and just weave in and out of it.
Whatever you want to use to get them off successfully, use that.
But go in the same direction every time.
Okay.
Because if you go from an opposite direction, it won't pull through, or won't gather up.
Right. So if you're going in the front of this stitch, you go in the front of the stitch, the next one. Okay. So Lynn was saying when you transfer, if you don't have the insole, is you use the 7 tool that you can just put every other needle, wind it back, and then you can transfer.
That's how if you want to
So do a bit on number 4.
transfer them. Then you put every second number. You make sure you tighten that up. And you transfer those over.
Ah. Yeah, I know Susan Glass spent $10. Okay.
So and just remember that you need to use a
Okay, so she just pulled it and then
Okay, so I've come across to this side. Okay.
tied it.
And I pull out 4 needles.
So now she's making the cord, the little topper.
And what I do is I just literally pull up enough yarn to go on 4 needles. Put them across the top there. Not a pretty hook, but it works. And you don't really notice it. Whether it's 1 or 2 or whatever. There we go. First row, I will hand it off.
I was just going to say, I handled that.
There you go. So you've got some nice stitches there now.
Did you just pull it across all 4 and do it at the same time?
Let me show you again.
So you can try it. If it doesn't work, you'll know we're doing it. It's not the transfer you have.
Okay, so I've pulled them out.
Yep.
Put it right there. You see you close.
Okay. Yep. Oh, wow.
And I
Okay.
just sort of there. Now, I don't bother, well, in the machine here.
Yep.
So try it.
And I go through the fly wire, whatever they call it.
Just the fly wire.
Up to about 6 and a part button in. So I call it you're only knitting one way. So this is going to be knitting this way and not that way.
Yeah. Can I just explain to people that this is left and this is right?
Yeah, with the arrows.
Okay?
Yeah.
So if this is out, if your right side's out of work, it won't knit when you're coming back right.
Oh, so that's when it's not going to knit right.
If that one's out, she's going to knit across, and when she comes back, because that
makes
one's
sense.
in,
Okay.
it's slipping across. The same happens with your tuck. And that's what you use to control when you're doing a rib, when you've got your ribber on, and you're doing your
So that's
circular
basically,
rows.
when by pushing it, it's cancelling out that direction.
Yeah. So when you're doing your ribber,
Yeah.
and you're doing your circular rows, you push that one in on here, and then you push the up on the
No, knit on this side. On the
yeah,
rib carriage.
The
on your ribber carriage.
Yeah.
So you're gonna, whatever one's in working position, that's
So you do the opposite on the
Do the
ribber
opposite.
because so they
it's
do
like
one.
That sort of
Yeah.
thing. The same with, you can swap it this way and have that in and this one.
That makes sense. Thank
If you
you.
get stuck with your carriage on one side or the other and your yarn's on the other side,
Put them
you use your
both in.
part.
Oh, okay.
And you can go across and it's
Cross,
doing
and
nothing.
it's not doing anything.
Yeah.
Right, hold, but it's
Yeah.
actually in there.
Just, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm putting that one in, and I'm going to do, I think I do about 20.
And why do you not go back and forth with the I-cord? Is it because
It puts
you
it
want
in
it?
and makes a cord.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
Putting it in, it's making it round.
Right. And you're normally decreasing on
Yeah.
the side your carriage is on, right? Or you like E-wrapping type thing. So what she's doing now,
What? Knit?
that's
Yeah.
knit across. Now this is in, so it's not going to knit here. So the
Yeah.
yarn's,
Flip across?
the yarn's
gonna bring it
there.
Yeah.
But she's going to knit from this side.
Yeah.
And it makes a cord.
Oh, okay.
What we used to do in a cotton mill called French knitting.
Yeah. Or I have an I-cord machine, which.
Is it actually a cylinder? Is it round or is it just
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
cylinder. You can't open that.
Yeah, because it's knitting it closed.
So it's not just a skinny bit.
So that's probably about enough. I
Yeah.
don't know how many I've done, but...
So that's.
And that's what you do
That's
with
about
the slip of
2
your-
inches, 2 or 3 inches.
Yeah, well, you know,
Yeah.
enough to make 8. And then I just decrease the stitches down to 2. I think it's about 20 or something like that. I can't remember.
Okay, so you,
Snip that off and then down to 1. Down to 1 is good because it actually parts itself in the hole itself.
and then you just stitch that down.
Oh, sorry, love.
Right?
I've got way too much yarn, but what we're going to do is fix it in there and then use that to stitch down, right down and right up here again. So
Oh,
I really don't
okay.
need all that yarn. I'm going to get rid of it.
No. 50 grams, I think she's got on that.
Well, that's for the 6-year-old one. It's 50 grams, yeah.
So here,
Okay, so you're going to stitch down
what
that.
I do is, well, you can actually, if you don't want to, you can actually just tie that in a knot, something like that, you know. But I go through the centre of the hole, what's left of the hole, and just settle it in there.
Yeah.
You can see it comes through a bit.
Yeah.
Well, you can take the hat off like that. And then I just fix that in place, you know, with a few stitches. And then I start
Doing the knot to knot.
to knot down. And you get these lovely little circles at the top.
Ah,
Yeah? And it's kind of not too bulky,
No,
with that 1 by 1. And you can see, even though I've changed the stitch size, it's really the same size because it's every other needle.
yeah.
And it's taken half of the bulk out of it. And that's it.
Excellent.
That's really quick.
Just join it.
Quick.